Welcome to the EmpowerHer Wellness podcast. I'm Morgan, and I'm thrilled to be your host and wellness coach as we navigate the path to a healthier, more confident you. As the owner of Get Fit With Me, I bring years of experience in personal training, nutrition, and coaching to each episode. Join me as we explore practical tips and strategies for fitness, nutrition, mindset, and more, all tailored for busy women just like you. Let's empower your wellness journey and achieve lasting transformation together. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an episode of the EmpowerHer Wellness podcast. I'm your host and coach, and today's topic is one that I know you have seen everywhere in your life, whether it's been as a commercial or it's been on Facebook, Instagram, on the computer, wherever it is, you've seen it and you've heard about it at least once. And it's something that I don't think is going to be going away in the future. If anything, we're going to start to see more and more of it. And some of you may be feeling like I am, and it is the topic of AI, whether that is ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Copilot. Really, there is so many out there these days. And some of you may be a little skeptical of it, maybe thinking, I don't know what this is, seems a little too good to be true. I don't know, and it kind of scares me. I'm in that boat. There's part of me that is, I absolutely love it and it's great. And there's other parts of me that's like, feels a little like cheating, however that looks. So the reason we're talking about this today is because it is something that, like I said, I really don't think this is going to be going away in the future. It has some really awesome features right now that I personally use, that I teach my clients to use, and that I taught our free Facebook group how to use earlier this month. And it's how to streamline our meals and our meal prepping. And I've run a meal prep and planning boot camp, and all of those systems are still 100% successful. But with an AI system, you get to expedite the process on some things. You get to find the answers a little bit quicker. You get to have things handed to you a little bit faster, which we are in a culture of instant gratification. So remembering that with our health and wellness, you can ask AI to give you all of the answers that you want, but you still have to implement them. And it's not going to expedite the time it takes for you to get your result. So you can ask it for all the things, but it's still going to take time to lose weight. It's still going to take time to create habits. It's still going to take time to gain muscle. It's not just an instant gratification. So with that, today we're going to be really talking about AI and the tools and the features that I use it for when it comes to helping with my decision fatigue at the end of the day, when I'm trying to come up with a meal, or when I am trying to make a recipe and I'm like halfway through and I realize I don't have one of the ingredients and I need a substitution and the recipe doesn't give me a substitution option. Or my new favorite is, I was just working with a client on this, when you're out and about and you're running into a restaurant and you're trying to make the healthiest choice possible for yourself, but there's not always nutrition facts, there's not always calories, there's not enough information on these menus to get the information you're looking for. So one of the things that I want you to take away from today is that AI is a tool. It's just like a habit tracker. It's just like your Fitbit. It's just like your Oura Ring. It is just like any other tool that we use in fitness. It is a tool that can expedite our process, but we still have to put in the work. And the one thing that it's not going to do is it's not going to hold you accountable like a coach or a trainer is going to be able to do. So that being said, if you're like, Morgan, I don't need another tool, keep listening, because there are things that this will make it easier. If you are a busy mom or a busy professional and you are feeling some of the things that I just said, stick around. You don't have to use it all the time, but just know it's an option in your back pocket for if you want to use it, it is there. If you are also here like, Morgan, I'm ready for that accountability, send me an email at morgan@getfitwithme-morganekovich.com with the word accountability. Send me an email and I will send you all the details on how we can get started working together and hold you accountable to these goals. You may have all the tools, but you just need that little push and that extra accountability. So, AI, like I mentioned, I am skeptical of it. There are things that I absolutely love that it does and it helps me do faster and better. And then there's things that I'm like, it's a little too good to be true. So, whatever end of that spectrum you are on, or maybe you're right in the middle with me, take all of today with a grain of salt and try it out for yourself. Just because this is the way that I have been using it and I found it to be really helpful doesn't mean it's the only way. There's a ton of prompts out there, but I'm going to talk about my 3 favorites. So, as we move in, my first one and the one that I started using probably about a year ago was I was at home and I was looking in the fridge because although I talk about meal prepping and planning, I am human and it doesn't always happen. As I was looking in the fridge and I was just like, oh my goodness, what do I want for dinner? And there was either too much or not enough, or there's just randoms where I couldn't put meals together at the moment. I was exhausted. So I opened up ChatGPT and I said, hi, I need help creating 3 to 5 dinner ideas that are simple, take under 30 minutes to make, and are high protein focused that also include fiber. In the photo attached is everything I have available. Please ask me any other questions you need to know to help accomplish this task. So what it does is it looks at the photo of what I had pulled out because I had a few different types of protein. I had chicken and beef. I had some broccoli. I had some asparagus. I had some milk. I had some rice and some noodles. I just pulled out a lot of different options, some carbs, some protein, some veggies, some healthy fats. I think I pulled out my olive oil, things like that. And it populated 3 to 5 meals that were high in protein, that contained fiber, and that took less than 30 minutes to make. So I looked through them. There was some stir fries. There's like an omelet. There is 3 to 5. If for some reason I didn't like any of those, I could say, not a fan of any of those. Please give me 3 to 5 more. I am leaning more towards blank type of cuisine. So you can ask it to get it to different questions if something on that list. But when you find that, sometimes they auto-populate a quick and easy recipe. And for somebody who's very proficient in the kitchen, you just kind of need the outline. That is me. If you are somebody who's like, I need the details, you can say, hey, I like recipe number 2. Can you give me a detailed instruction list? I am very new in the kitchen. And it will give you step by step by step by step on how to get through that to complete that meal. That was the first thing I did with it when I used the photo feature, because it was so awesome to just be able to take a picture and get a meal idea and say, oh yeah, like why couldn't I have thought of that? It's because I had 7,000 other things happening in my brain that of course I wasn't going to think of that. It was the last thing on my list, which it's the importance of meal prepping and planning. It saves you in times like that, but so does AI. Is that something I recommend using on a day-to-day basis? No, but it's a really good tool to use when you need to. Maybe you're like, I don't want to give AI my camera access. That's okay. So instead of taking a photo, so in where I said everything in the photo that I've attached is what I have available, I just write it out. I will say, hi, I need help creating 3 to 5 dinner ideas that are simple, take under 30 minutes to cook. I want them to be protein focused, and I have this, and this type of protein, this vegetable, these types of carbs, this healthy fats, and some random generic seasonings. Please ask me anything else you need to help you accomplish this task. The reason I also ask that final question is they may ask a question back of how many servings are you looking for? Are you looking for like a big meal, or are you looking for something just for yourself? Sometimes it asks me things. Sometimes I give it enough in the prompt that it gives me the result I'm looking for. So if you're unsure about letting it have access to your camera, just type in the ingredients you have. You're going to get the same result of getting a meal very quickly. So the second thing that I use AI for, and this is the one that kind of ties into number 1. So I find this recipe, and let's say it calls for something that I did not list. I can either go back to it and say, please only include things that I have listed or that you can see in the photo. I want recipes that only include what I have told you or what I can see. Or what I do is I'll go back in and say, hey, I'm making a roast, because I was just doing this for a client. I was making a roast from frozen. So I said, hey, I need a quick and simple, flavorful roast recipe from frozen in the crock pot. Please give me a simple recipe. Gives me this recipe. I makeshift. I'm like, oh, we don't have potatoes, but we have onions and carrots. Great. I'm going to throw that in there. I throw the roast in there. And then it calls for beef broth. We didn't have beef broth. Then it calls for the beef bouillon, like squares. We didn't have that either. So I said, I don't have either of those options. What would be a good substitute? It told me how much more salt to put in and how much more water to put in to help get that flavor there, and what other seasonings to put in. So all I did was ask, and I said, I don't have this ingredient. What can I use as a substitute? You can also do it if you're trying to make ranch dressing and say, hey, I'm trying to make ranch dressing. This is the recipe I have. You can upload it. You can screenshot it. You can do whatever you want to put it in there. I don't have this ingredient and this ingredient. What can I use as a substitute? Or if you're like, can I use Greek yogurt as a substitute? You can say, I'm making ranch dressing right now. I don't have buttermilk. Can I use plain Greek yogurt instead? It will tell you yes, no, and the quantity in which to use. So it's really great for when you are cooking on the fly and you don't have. That's how I learned that I can put a little bit of plain Greek yogurt in boxed mac and cheese. I like Goodles in the Aldi brand here recently, but the back of the box calls for a 4th cup of milk. I don't always have milk on hand. I was out that week and I was like, well, I still want to put something in. I just asked ChatGPT, can I put yogurt in, or will it kind of change the consistency, or will it make it taste sour, whatever that is? And it said I could put like a spoonful of plain Greek yogurt. It was delicious. We now kind of do that over milk sometimes, depending on the brand we have. So finding those substitutions, when I think so often when we're cooking, we look at a recipe and we're like, well, I don't have that. I can't make that. Using it to ask what you can use in replacement, or is it really necessary to have that ingredient? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So asking the AI is a really great other way to use the tool. Those are my 2 favorite ways that I use it more on a regular basis. Whether the picture and helping me create the meal, that's more of like a weekly or every couple weeks. But the substitutions I'll use pretty frequently. Or I will say, I've got this vegetable and this vegetable. What are the best seasoning ideas? What would make this have a ton of flavor without losing the taste of the vegetable? Like, you can ask it things like that, and it will give you different combinations and recipes on how to season your vegetables as well. Okay, I could go on a whole tangent about that. The third way that I actually just used this with a client recently is she was out and about. She was headed to a family thing, and she was like, yeah, we stopped into Taco Bell and I don't even remember what she told me, but she's like, I got this and I got that. And I was like, okay. So I asked ChatGPT. I said, I'm swinging into Taco Bell for lunch today. I am looking for the highest protein option with the lowest calories. It gave me 3 to 5 things on the menu. The reason this is so important and is so helpful is when you go to a fast food place or you go to a restaurant, specifically chains, they now have calories next to it, but they don't have your protein, they don't have your fat, they don't have your carb, they don't have your macros in there. And if you're somebody who's tracking, or you're somebody who's trying to dial in their nutrition right now, that can be really hard. And it can be really hard to plan in advance at times to make sure you've got your homemade food, where like you just need to go out and get food so that you are not missing a meal. So when I asked ChatGPT, knowing, hey, we're going to be stopping here for lunch, can you give me 3 to 5 items with the highest protein, least calories, and if you're somebody who is watching your fat, say lowest amount of fat. I didn't even know they had a chicken taco something. It was like 150 calories, 12 grams of protein per taco. I'm like, that right there is going to be the best bang for my buck because I can do 2 of those and it can be 300 calories and 24 grams of protein. I could even throw in a third one and still feel good and know that my macros are going to be hit and that I'm going to be hitting my goals. So often we don't we just look at the calories of like, oh, that's 500 calories or that's 300 calories. But when we don't know the protein behind it, it's hard to sometimes say, well, yeah, I got this bean burrito. Well, a lot of that's going to be carbs and fat. You're going to have some protein in it, but it's mostly going to be your carbs and fat. And if you are somebody who is trying to prioritize your protein, get as close to that 100 grams as possible, we need to be asking these questions. You can do the same thing for Panera. Panera is another place. We have just the calories, but it doesn't tell you your macros. Just because you ask about the macros does not mean you have to be tracking them either. I'm somebody who likes to know because I just kind of keep a rough estimate in my head throughout the day of like, okay, I had eggs and cottage cheese for breakfast. I had tuna for lunch. I had a beef stick as a snack, and dinner we had steak. Like, I can generally get an idea of my head of where I'm at. I go back to food logging when I feel like I've been a little off track or I'm just not feeling like myself. And I'm like, okay, something's probably not right here. I need to do a little bit of dialing in. So when we are going through these and you are thinking about how can I use AI and should I be using it? Should you be using it? It will make your life easier at times. For instance, the 3 ways that I just told you today. Does that mean you have to use it? Absolutely not. You do not have to. But I want you to know how to use a tool correctly instead of just having a tool and not knowing how to use it. Because I think that's the other part is so many of us, we buy weights or we buy resistance bands or we join a gym and we don't learn how. We just have these things because they're tools or equipment, but we don't actually learn the how. And I want to teach you the how, especially with something that is up and coming, that is going to continue to stay around, that is just going to get faster and more intelligent over time. So as we're talking here, if you have a specific like AI question of, well, will it do this? Will it do that? Like send me an email, morgan@getfitwithme-morganekovich.com. Ask it. I'm going to do another one of these trainings. Like I mentioned earlier this month, I did a training inside our For Busy Moms fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability community. And it was fun. It was on lunch and how to streamline our lunchtime meals and planning and to kind of keep variety and flavor and how we can use AI to help expedite that process. So if you're looking for that more hands-on tutorial, that is the one that you're going to want to go check back out. We did link it in the show notes here so that you can get a sense of what it actually looks like. I'm screen sharing. I'm showing you the exact process I'm using. But long story short, from today, I don't want you to be afraid of it. It's okay to be skeptical of it. Like I said, I still am, but I want you to know it's there to use to help make your life easier if you know how to use it. So the number one thing that you can do after today's call is download ChatGPT, create a free account, and just ask it some of the questions that I just taught you today. Play around with it, see what results you get. Maybe you're not getting the right result. Okay, do a little bit of tweaking. It's all about finding that wording that works for you that's going to get you the result. It took me a while to figure that out. The prompts that I shared with you today are ones that I use on a regular basis. I kind of just copy and paste them and update at times. So having those in your back pocket that you can just go to, and it can also help you create your meal plan for the week, which we can dive into a whole nother episode on at a different time. But as we wrap up, I want to remind you that it is a tool. And it is a really awesome tool that can help you in your nutrition. Ask it for those macros. There is a percentage of error that can happen. It's just like anything. Nothing is 100%. There is some error that is probably in there. So take everything with a little bit of a grain of salt. Also, do your own research on it if you want to, or come and ask me if you're unsure about an answer that you have found. And if you're looking for that accountability to actually help you implement tools, maybe this is like the 10th or 15th tool that you have now added to your list. You don't need more tools. You need support and you need the accountability. And if you're ready for that, send me an email with the word accountability. That's all I need in the subject line, accountability in the subject line. And I'll reach out to you and I'll give you all the information on how we can work together. So in the meantime, go out, play with it, download it, have some fun. And I would love to see what types of meals you've created, how you've used it, and how it's making your life a little bit easier. And as always, send me any questions you have, and you can post them right inside our For Busy Moms Fitness, Nutrition, Mindset, and Accountability community. Until next time. Thank you for tuning in to the EmpowerHer Wellness podcast. I hope you found today's episode inspiring and packed with actionable tips. Remember, your journey to becoming the strongest, most confident version of yourself is just beginning. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode and join our community of empowered women. Until next time, stay strong and stay confident.